Welcome back. How to deal with frenemies. That's exactly what we are discussing on Hard Conversations today. A lot of people think the biggest group of people, set of people you must run away from in your life are your enemies. But there is a saying that says, keep your friends close.
Keep your enemies close.
Keep your enemies closer. Your frenemies are a combination of your friends and your enemies. The people who present themselves as friends, but they are truly your enemies. But because they come under the guise of the coverage of friendship, you may be harmed before you discover how much damage they can really do to you. But how do you exactly deal with them?
It's an interesting one, Thomason. You know, when we were talking about this and thinking about it, what came to my mind is it is highly dangerous to have people around you who are envious of you.
Okay.
Because to you, they look at you as a competition, but you look at them as your friends. Every time they come around you, they act as spies. But every time you see them, you smile. You are excited to be with them. You are open-minded. You see, you love the friendship. But to them, they see you as a competition. So they can't stand your grace. They can't stand your uniqueness. They can't stand your peculiarities. And you know the funny thing about frenemies is that frenemies can be friends. They can be brothers. They can even be colleagues. You work together. They look at you. They admire. It starts with admiration, and then all of a sudden they can't just catch up with this person. Then it becomes envy, especially when you are on a similar platform, not boss and subordinate. No, when you're on a similar platform. And do you know there are some mentors who are frenemies? They mentor you to a level, and then they see you are thriving, you're getting to them, then they become insecure. This boy, let's put him down. He's too unique. He's too divine.
That's why you must be careful in choosing your mentors as well.
You know, so many people are quick to say, Robert Greene will say, do not outshine your master. But they don't read the book.
No, they didn't read the book.
I read the book.
A lot of people are scared of the book.
I read it, and Robert Greene says, do not outshine your master, but outshine him if you are ready to discard him. You see, so if you know you don't need him anymore, then you can just keep shining your light. But when you're scared and you think he's still there, then you need to be careful. Because the truth of the matter is frenemies are everywhere.
And they're dangerous.
They present themselves as friends, but they're dangerous. And I say this, it's better to have enemies than to have frenemies, because with an enemy, you know
you're even sure of what exactly you are dealing with. But when it comes to frenemies,
you're not.
You're not.
And like I said before we came back on set, to destroy every great man, you need somebody
that is close to him. And usually a frenemy comes really close to you. Really close to you.
Very
a frenemy looks at you, is really close to you, and the frenemy begins to look at you. What can I do to this person? Can I make something?
Just like we were talking about in the other topic, and he looks at you and is he the only one? Why is he shining? A brother can be angry at his brother. Why is he shining in the family? Let me kill him and get the accolades. Or in an office, why is she the favorite? Let's pull her down. So they want to speak behind your back. They want to give you names that you're not. They want to even steal things and put in your possession.
You know, this brings to mind, I think it was a movie I watched last week, where a young woman was adopted into a family.
Okay.
Raised in that family.
Okay.
And, you know, schooled and all that. When she started bringing husbands home, and the man kept saying, no, you can't have this, you can have this. This person is not good enough for you, this person is not the right person. And the man kept doing that to her. She felt the man didn't love her enough. When she kept asking for money, living a reckless life, and the man was always correcting her, she felt the man didn't love her enough. Until the time when she decided to kill the man. The benefactor. She killed the benefactor almost tried, if I set up the son for murder, and almost tried to kill the son. Meanwhile, this young man came back from the United States into Nigeria thinking that he was coming home to meet his sister. He never knew that she wasn't even biological.
Oh my goodness.
But she compelled the man one day to tell her, because the man was always saying no to her, taking some reckless decisions. And while the man was telling her, she already had a hired assassin by the door. She said anyway, even if that is not true, she was ready to take over. So she killed the man and set it up as...
So the son goes in for it?
No, set it up as a suicide.
Oh,
An hired assassin met him on the major road and he was killed in the house, moved to the road, and then burnt. So there is no evidence. It was a gruesome, well-calculated murder. And then set up the son again for the murder of his girlfriend.
Oh.
And
So,
yet,
this
was in a family. But you know, brings to mind the kind of stories that you hear from time to time.
True.
Where they tell you, oh, this sister did this to this brother. And you're like, why would you be that wicked towards your sibling? This is where it starts from. And I think parents need to watch out for it. If you see that two of your children seem envious of one another, you need to kill it from when they're young.
True.
However, if you don't, you're getting ready to have frenemies amongst your children.
It's going to be a problem.
In
You
the
know,
future.
the qualities of frenemies are resentment, envy, anger, jealousy. You see, one thing about frenemies is that they are sad when you win and they are happy when you lose. You see that? But they come around you. They smile with you. They are your everyday people. You see them. And listen, I need someone to take note of these things, because I wrote these things from a frenemies perspective. Number one, my peculiarities and uniqueness is not the reason for your damn squib. Change your mentality, because the sky is wide enough for every one of us to fly.
To fly.
A mentality that my star causes your star to dim keeps you at a subordinate position forever. So you think that my light is the reason why your light is not shining well. You have a problem in your mind. Number two, it is highly dangerous to have people around you that envy you. They look at you as a competition, but you look at them as a friend. We all need the spirit of discernment to survive in this present age and time. Do you know that a frenemy is more dangerous than an enemy? That's a question for somebody to answer. And leave a comment in our comment section.
You know, a frenemy is someone who will offer you food and watch you die.
True.
A frenemy is someone who will poison your water and allow you to take it. As a matter of fact, compel you to take it. Let me shock you with a real life story. A friend of mine shared a story with me, I think it was sometime in December. We were talking about the complexity of relationships.
Okay.
And he said to me, I had to ask the question, where is your family? I said, oh, they're fine. I see my kids from time to time, but I don't see my wife. I live here, they live there. I know where they live, but I don't go there, but they don't know where I live.
Wow.
I said to him, how long do you intend to do that? Are you planning to leave your wife? He said, I've left, but I'm not getting married again. He said, because as far as I'm concerned, the trust is destroyed completely. It cannot bridge the gap. What happened? His wife had the suspicion that maybe she was cheating, and he's the men, they say, a free spender. He's
a father figure in the society.
Father figure in the society. He's always doling out cash, but when it comes to the wife, he doles out cash with budget. But people now come home and they say, about what they did. So after a while, she doesn't work, she's always at home. After a while, something occurred, something happened between them. What exactly happened? He came home one night, he drinks. He came home one night, having drunk a little. She didn't know how much drink. So usually they have a maid whom he usually calls to make him tea. He's a tea person. Every night he must take green tea or Lipton or something. So he had his tea. But this particular night, he met his wife awake, and she made the tea for him. So after having gone to the bathroom, came out, she kept standing around, quickly went to the kitchen, made a tea for him. And he said, he just felt something was absurd. I said, your wife made tea for you? He said, yeah, it was absurd. Because he barely ever meets her awake. So he kept the tea, kept watching TV. I saw that she was still sitting there. So he was like, what do you want? Like, maybe she's trying to ask him for money. He didn't even have such suspicion yet. Maybe she was trying to ask him for money. And she just said, no, she just wants to keep him company for a while. He said, he kept watching her with the side of his eyes. He saw that her eyes kept darting back to the cup. Her eyes were darting back to the cup. So he relaxed.
Wise man.
So he pretended as if he was watching TV, but he kept looking at her with the side of his eyes. He could see what she was doing. So he carried the cup and he put it to his mouth. Pretended as if I take the other half. I don't feel like drinking tea. She tried leaving and he drank that back. He said, I will stab you if you don't drink that tea. She knelt down. Oh, hey. Neighbor started beating on the door. He opened the door. Said the housemaid came out. He just told the housemaid to go and stay with the two kids. And he locked them up in the room. Neighbors came in. He opened the door and said, please help me beg my wife. She made me a cup of tea that smells funny, and I asked her to drink out of the tea. Madam, the moon tea.
Good.
And she was like, no, she doesn't feel like drinking tea. The man gave the cup to the first neighbor. How does it smell? The second neighbor, how does it smell? The third neighbor, this is not ordinary tea. It smells funny. Madam, do you understand? And the man said, I will stab her if she doesn't confess or drink this tea. She didn't put anything. By the time the man handled her and started pretending as if he was going to really harm her, hey, I'm sorry. She poured sniper into green tea.
What a wicked world. Are you kidding me?
They had been married for over 10 years.
That's his wife.
Their first child was over 8 years old.
So you see why I say there's a difference between a wife and a knife? Because a wife will take care of you, a knife would destroy you.
I had to ask him the question. Like I said, He said,
He
said, I said, this woman is beautiful, very nice. And I said, maybe something happened. Maybe she was under a spell. They said, that is how you people will say she's under a spell till she kills him. He packed his things that night, called the police, reported the case, did police report, but that was the end of the matter. He said he doesn't want them to prosecute her, but he really wants the file to be open so that in future, when his children are grown and they ask questions, they would know exactly what happened. But that for him, he cannot even think of marrying a woman because of that single incident again.
So how
They've
do
been
you...
separated for close to 5 years.
Wow. He should go and do Thanksgiving. He would have been dead long ago.
Imagine he was really drunk.
That's where I was going.
Because that was exactly what she banked on. That he would be drunk enough to have just picked up the cup, gulped it, and dropped the cup. And she would have washed the cup, and that would have been no evidence whatsoever. So you see what happens? You can live with a frenemy all your life. And you just discover that you don't progress.
Very true. Very true. Now, how do you deal with frenemies? I'll just give us 5 ways and then we're done. Number 1, identify them. Somebody will say, how do I identify them? You can identify them if they ignore you from time to time, or they disgrace you publicly. They mock you in public. You need to ask yourself these questions. Does he or she ignore me? Does he or she mock me? How does he relate with me publicly? Does he bully me or does she bully me? Or is he resentful? You need to be very calculative. Imagine that man was not calculative enough.
Smart guy.
He was, when you said he will look at the wife, she's looking at the cup. He will look at the wife, she's looking at the cup. I was like, this man is sharp. You need emotional stability and mental intelligence to deal with frenemies. So point number one, you need to pinpoint them. You need to identify them. If you're too lackadaisical, you would see they will kill you instrumentally and cry profusely at your burial.
Very true.
And they cry the most. Have you seen those dramatic burial ceremony? They killed the man. They will cry the most with all their hearts. Number two, ignore their comments. When you have identified the person,
then you can definitely
start ignoring them. When they know, you now know that they are frenemies, they will change. They'll start looking for ways out of it. But when you keep pretending you don't know, it's detrimental to your life. Do you remember the story of one of our ex-presidents who they gave apple?
Yes.
You think it's somebody he doesn't know? It's within the circle. It's very
obvious.
Within
the circle.
When they want to destroy somebody, they use somebody around. So you need to ignore their comment. The best way to deal with frenemies is refuse to acknowledge them. When you come in, don't acknowledge them. Don't do the things you used to do. Treat them as an enemy. So you want to be frenemy, you are my enemy. Put them in that space. And this, I want to say, is very important. Point number 3. Keep your achievements to yourself. You know, we are so
sharing
quick.
Your secrets with frenemies.
We are so quick with putting out our secrets out there. My husband just bought me a car, and only you get husband. Do you know, as simple as that may sound, you can lose your life. Your best friend can take your husband. As simple as that statement may sound, my husband just bought me a car, can become a problem for another family. And so your husband is buying you a car. Okay, we'll see. Keep your achievements to yourself. Don't give your frenemy too much reasons to be jealous. Limit their access to you. And if I may add, unsubscribe from their social media. You can't even block them. There is no place it is written
to keep them as friends.
Nothing is compulsory in life except God. As far as I'm concerned, nothing is compulsory in life except God, except your maker. It's not compulsory. If I don't marry, I will die. No. It's not compulsory. If I do not go to school, I will not survive. There are very many people who never saw the 4 walls of a school, and yet they are successful.
Fantastic.
So nothing is compulsory
in life.
So, and let me tell you this, Tomisi. You see, we need to understand that everything has expiry date, including friendship.
Very true.
So when a friendship has expired, it now becomes toxic. Then it's a frenemy.
Even marriage has expiry dates.
You said it.
A marriage has expiry dates. You don't die at the same time. Very rarely.
Okay, yeah. From that perspective, yes. But according to the Holy Book, they say
no. I'm not saying. I'm not talking about
forever.
that. I'm just saying there's no forever. Every human being dies. And when the human being dies, there's no marriage in heaven. Neither is there marriage in the grave.
You see, I said something. Fire.
But it's true.
Very true.
It's true.
Very
so everything has a lifespan. If man has a lifespan, man's relationships have a lifespan.
Number 4, Tomisi, try to repair the friendship. At this point, I'm saying talk to them. Maybe we can go on a date. If you really value that person, there's value coming from that frenemy. And you're seeing that the person is resenting, is jealous, is envious of you, you can have a sit down. I have seen recently you're not really okay with me. Is there something I'm doing wrong? Because so many times it's very easy for us to point our fingers
at the next person
and not knowing maybe you are the frenemy. So you need to have a discussion. Let's see how we can make this work.
To make it better.
Now, if you have done that and the person is still resentful towards you, my final point, number 5, let them go.
Very simple.
Let them go.
That's the best way to actually just stay away from them.
Let them go. You've tried everything.
I won't even go through the process. I will just say up front, just avoid them like a plague.
Because the
moment you identify them,
some people are not worth it.
Avoid them like a plague, and that's it.
Let them
avoid
go.
them like a plague. How do you close, Dr. Precious?
Interestingly, Tomisi, I close by saying the most important thing about life is to realize that from time to time we need to evaluate our association. Your association determines your acceleration. Your association determines your assimilation. When I mean acceleration, I mean your speed in life is a function of the people you company with. Number two, your assimilation, the things you understand, the things you pull, the things you survive, the things you go through is a function of the people that surrounds you. What you survived, it